I'm Ryan Cooper, and for 12 years I flew commercial jets for United Airlines. Captain Stripes, international routes, the whole 9 yards. What I learned up there at 35,000 feet is that small problems become big problems real fast when you're not paying attention to your instruments. Same thing applies to marriage, apparently. The text came in on a Tuesday morning while I was doing my pre-flight checklist for a Denver to Frankfurt run. Sophie, my wife of 8 years, had been planning this European vacation for months. 2 weeks across 5 countries with her family, her brother Mason, her dad Owen, and my stepson Brady, who was 11. I'd been looking forward to it. Hell, I'd even switched my schedule around to get the time off, turning down a lucrative Asia-Pacific rotation that would have meant extra pay. Change of plans, the message read. You're staying home from Europe. Brady wants his real dad to come instead of you. Kids want their biological father. Hope you understand. I stared at that screen for a full minute. The flight attendant, Maria, was waiting for my okay to begin boarding 312 passengers. But I couldn't move. 8 years I'd been Brady's stepdad. 8 years of soccer games, homework help, teaching him how to tie his shoes and throw a proper spiral. 8 years of him calling me Dad Ryan, and sometimes just Dad when he forgot himself. And now, suddenly I was, the backup parent? My co-pilot Derek noticed me frozen in place. Everything okay, Captain? Yeah, I said, shoving the phone into my flight bag. Let's get these people to Germany. But everything wasn't okay. During the 11-hour flight, while Derek handled most of the routine communications, I kept thinking about that text, the casual tone, the assumption that I'd just accept being cut out of a family vacation I'd helped plan and pay for. The way she'd positioned it as Brady's decision, as if an 11-year-old had suddenly developed sophisticated opinions about family dynamics. I called Sophie immediately after we landed at Frankfurt. Straight to voicemail, I tried Mason. Same thing. I sent a text. Call me. We need to discuss this. No response. By the time I got home Thursday evening after the turnaround flight, they were already gone. The house felt different, emptier, but not in the way you'd expect when your family leaves for vacation. It felt cleaner somehow, like someone had removed a persistent low-level noise I hadn't realized was bothering me. That's when I started noticing things. The travel confirmation emails I found on our shared computer told a story that didn't match Sophie's narrative. Originally, there were 6 tickets booked: Sophie, Brady, Mason, Owen, Brady's biological father Derek, and me. Then, 3 days before departure, one was canceled. Mine. But here's where it gets interesting. They didn't downgrade to economy or move to a cheaper hotel to save money after losing my financial contribution. Instead, they used the refund from my canceled flight to upgrade everyone else to first class. The hotel reservation changed too. Instead of 2 adjoining rooms, they booked a family suite at the George V in Paris, for the same total price, just redistributed. They'd researched the upgrade options thoroughly, comparing amenities and room configurations. This wasn't a panicked rebooking after a last-minute change of heart. This wasn't Brady having an emotional breakthrough about wanting his real dad. This was planned, calculated. They'd been discussing cutting me out of this trip long enough to research better accommodations for themselves. Long enough to coordinate with Brady's father, who apparently had 2 weeks free for European travel, despite being supposedly too busy for regular visitation. I poured myself 3 fingers of Maker's Mark and sat down at my desk to really look at our finances. What I found made my blood run cold. Sophie had been systematically transferring money from our joint savings into an account I didn't have access to. Not huge amounts that would trigger questions. A few hundred here, 1,000 there. But consistent. Like a slow leak in an aircraft fuel tank. Small enough to go unnoticed during routine checks, but significant over time. Over 18 months, she'd moved nearly $35,000. Money I'd earned flying red-eyes in international routes, money from overtime shifts and holiday rotations when other pilots wanted to be home with their families. Money I'd contributed to what I thought was our shared future, our joint emergency fund. I pulled up our bank statements and started calculating. The transfers happened regularly, usually right after my direct deposits cleared. She had the timing down to a science. Take the money while it was fresh, before I'd had time to notice the account balances. Smaller amounts from checking, Larger chunks from savings when I got bonus payments for international rotations. The life insurance beneficiary forms were even worse. Sophie had updated hers 6 months ago, removing me entirely and making Brady the sole beneficiary. She hadn't mentioned it, hadn't asked me to do the same. Just quietly arranged things so that if something happened to her, I'd get nothing from the woman I'd been supporting and protecting for 8 years. Meanwhile, she remained the beneficiary on all my policies. Policies that would pay out nearly $2 million if something happened to me. My phone buzzed. Text from Sophie. "How are you? Lonely? Missing us yet?" From Paris. She was in Paris, drinking wine and eating cheese on my dime, asking if I was lonely. Like this was some kind of game, like she was testing me to see how I'd react to being excluded and abandoned. The casual cruelty of it hit me like clear air turbulence. I typed back, "I miss absolutely nothing." She responded immediately, "That's mean, Ryan. We're your family." Family, right. The same family that had spent months coordinating my exclusion from their vacation while upgrading their own accommodations with my money. I walked to my desk and pulled out the folder where I kept all our important documents: insurance policies, mortgage papers, credit card statements, investment accounts. All of it organized and filed because that's what pilots do. We prepare for contingencies. We have checklists for normal operations, emergency procedures, and system failures. We don't improvise at 35,000 feet. And we don't make emotional decisions when lives are at stake. Time for contingency planning. I started making calls. First call, our bank. I explained to the customer service representative that, due to recent suspicious activity on our joint accounts, I needed to secure our assets immediately. As the primary account holder and main income source, I had the authority to remove Sophie from our joint checking and move everything to a new account in my name only. The process took 20 minutes. Legally, it was all money I'd earned anyway. Sophie had never held a steady job during our marriage, just occasional consulting work for corporate training seminars that barely covered her shopping habits and spa treatments. Second call, the mortgage company. I explained that, due to an impending divorce, I needed to understand my options for removing my name from the loan or refinancing entirely. The customer service representative was surprisingly helpful. Since the house was in both our names, but I'd been making 93% of the payments over 8 years, I had several options. I could force a sale, buy out Sophie's equity, or transfer my interest to her, and walk away clean. Third call, my union representative at United. I explained the family situation and asked about emergency leave policies. Turns out the airline has very generous policies for family crisis situations. I could take up to 3 weeks unpaid leave to handle personal matters, and given my perfect attendance record and seniority, scheduling would work with me on anything I needed. Fourth call, a divorce attorney. Rebecca Martinez specialized in high-asset divorces for airline personnel. Apparently, pilots get divorced a lot, something about the irregular schedules and extended time away. Who knew? I made an appointment for the next morning. Fifth call, United Corporate Housing. As a senior captain, I had access to temporary accommodations near any of our major hubs. There was an opening for a furnished apartment near San Francisco International, available immediately. I put a hold on it. My phone rang. Sophie calling from Europe. "Ryan, what did you do? I can't access our checking account." "I secured our assets," I said calmly. Seemed like the responsible thing to do, given that my name was being removed from the family vacation. "Plans and insurance policies without discussion." Silence. Then, "Those are completely different things." "Are they?" "Both involve removing me from situations where I'm financially responsible but have no actual authority or input." "You're being ridiculous. Come on, you know Brady's going through a phase. His dad hasn't been around much lately, so of course he wants to spend time with him. For 2 weeks in Europe, in first-class accommodations. Paid for with money. I earned flying overnight cargo routes while you were sleeping. Our money, Ryan. We're married. What's yours is mine, remember?" I laughed. Actually laughed out loud. "Apparently not, because my name isn't on your secret savings account, is it? The one you've been funding with $35,000 of our money over the past year and a half." Another silence. Much longer this time. I could hear conversation in French in the background. The clink of wine glasses, the sound of people enjoying themselves on my dime. How did I find out? I'm a pilot, Sophie. I notice patterns. inconsistencies, things that don't add up. It's literally what they pay me to do. We'll talk about this when I get back, she said finally, her voice tight. No, I said, we won't. I hung up and blocked her number. Then I called United Scheduling and asked for every available position they had on international routes for the next 3 months. The Asia-Pacific rotation was still open, the one I'd turned down to accommodate Sophie's European vacation. It paid 30% more than domestic routes, involved month-long rotations to Tokyo, Seoul, and Sydney, and would keep me out of Colorado until this mess was resolved. You sure about this, Cooper? The scheduling coordinator asked. It's a tough rotation. Most guys need 6 months to adjust to the time zone changes. I'm sure, I said. When does it start? Next Monday if you want it. I want it. I spent the next hour on the phone with corporate housing, arranging long-term accommodations near SFO. A furnished 2-bedroom apartment with a view of the bay, walking distance to the crew transport pickup. More expensive than staying in Denver, but the increased pay from international routes would more than cover it. By midnight, I had a plan. A detailed, methodical plan with backup options and contingencies. Sophie could keep the house she couldn't afford on her own income. She could keep Brady and his complicated relationship with his biological father. She could keep whatever fantasy she'd been building about her life. What she couldn't keep was me paying for it while being systematically excluded from it. The next morning, I met with Rebecca Martinez, the divorce attorney. She was exactly what I needed. Sharp, experienced, and completely unsentimental about wealthy women who'd gotten comfortable living off someone else's earnings. Here's the good news, Rebecca said after reviewing my documentation. You're in an excellent position. You have a stable, high-income career with transferable skills. She's been financially dependent on you for years, and most importantly, you kept records. What's the bad news? She's going to fight dirty. Women who've been planning exit strategies don't go quietly. Expect accusations, threats, attempts to turn Brady against you. She'll paint you as controlling, abusive, vindictive, whatever sticks. Rebecca was right. The calls started the next day. First from Mason, Sophie's brother, who'd apparently cut his European vacation short to deal with the crisis I'd created. Ryan, what the hell is wrong with you? Mason's voice was tight with barely controlled anger. Sophie is devastated. Brady is confused and upset. You're destroying this family over what? A misunderstanding about a vacation? A misunderstanding, I repeated. Is that what we're calling systematic financial fraud now? Financial fraud? Jesus Christ, Ryan. She moved some money around. Married couples do that. It's not fraud. $35,000 over 18 months, moved to an account I can't access, while removing me from insurance beneficiaries and family vacations. That's not moving money around, Mason. That's preparation for divorce while keeping the income source intact. You're being paranoid. Sophie loves you. Sophie loves my paycheck. There's a difference. Mason's tone shifted, became threatening. You need to fix this, Ryan. Put the money back, drop the divorce papers, and apologize. Or I'll make sure everyone at United knows what kind of man you really are. I have connections in corporate aviation. I can ruin your career. I almost laughed. Mason worked in pharmaceutical sales. His connections in aviation probably consisted of buying drinks for flight attendants on business trips. Mason, I said calmly, I've been flying for 12 years without a single incident. My safety record is perfect. My passenger reviews are excellent. My crew evaluations are outstanding. You think United is going to fire a senior captain because his brother-in-law doesn't like his divorce strategy? I'll tell them you're unstable, vindictive, that you can't be trusted with people's lives. You do that. Make sure to mention that you're the brother of the woman who stole $35,000 from me while planning to exclude me from our family. I'm sure that'll make your accusations very credible. Mason hung up on me. Then came Owen, Sophie's father, calling from his law office in Denver. Owen was smart enough not to make threats. Instead, he offered to mediate our differences. Ryan's son, I know Sophie can be impulsive sometimes, but she's a good woman. She's been under a lot of stress lately with Brady acting out and Derek making demands about increased visitation. Maybe she made some poor decisions, but that doesn't mean your marriage is over. Owen, she systematically stole from me while planning my exclusion from family events. This isn't impulsive behavior. This is calculated deception. The money can be returned. The vacation was a mistake. Brady shouldn't have put Sophie in that position. We can work through this. Can we work through her changing her insurance beneficiary without telling me? Silence. Owen was a lawyer. He understood exactly what that action implied. That was an oversight. No, Owen, that was preparation. She's been planning this for months, maybe years. The only thing she didn't plan for was me finding out before she was ready to pull the trigger. What do you want, Ryan? I want a clean divorce. She keeps the house. I keep my pension and savings. No alimony, no asset splitting. She can have everything we built together. She just can't have me paying for it anymore. That's generous. That's final. Finally, Sophie's lawyer called. Linda Chen from one of those white shoe Denver firms that charge $500 an hour to send threatening letters. She'd apparently been retained while Sophie was still in Paris. Mr. Cooper, I represent Sophie Richardson in this matter. I understand you've made some precipitous decisions regarding joint assets. I secured money I earned from being stolen by someone who was systematically excluding me from family decisions and benefits. That's a very serious accusation. Do you have evidence that Mrs. Richardson intended to deprive you of marital assets permanently? I have bank records showing regular transfers to an account I can't access, insurance forms removing me as beneficiary, and travel confirmations excluding me from a family vacation funded with money I earned. What would you call that? I'd call it a wife managing household finances and making difficult decisions about family dynamics. Mrs. Richardson was trying to accommodate her son's emotional needs regarding his biological father, with my money, without my input, while removing me from insurance benefits. The insurance change was an administrative error. Mrs. Richardson was updating beneficiary information for Brady and made a mistake. Ms. Chen, I'm a commercial airline pilot. I don't believe in convenient mistakes when it comes to life and death documentation. Your client knew exactly what she was doing. Nevertheless, Mr. Cooper, you should know that Mrs. Richardson intends to fight for her fair share of marital assets, the house, savings, investment accounts. She contributed to building this life too. She contributed by spending money I earned while planning my exclusion from the life we supposedly built together. She was a homemaker. She supported your career by maintaining the household. She was unemployed by choice while systematically stealing from me. There's a difference. The conversation went downhill from there. Linda Chen made it clear that Sophie intended to claim half of everything, plus alimony, plus child support for Brady, even though he wasn't my biological son. She painted a picture of a devoted wife and mother, abandoned by a controlling, vindictive husband who'd stolen family assets in a fit of rage. They all had the same basic message. I was being unreasonable, I was hurting Brady, and I needed to think about the consequences of my actions for the family. The thing about flying commercial jets is that you learn to ignore distractions. Turbulence, weather alerts, mechanical warnings, demanding passengers. None of it matters when you're responsible for 300 lives. You focus on your instruments, you follow your procedures, and you don't let emotions override good judgment. I treated this situation the same way. While Sophie and her family were making threats and demands from Europe, I was methodically documenting everything. I saved every text message, every email, every voicemail. I photographed every financial document. I recorded phone calls in states where it was legal. Rebecca had taught me that divorce court was like aviation. Facts matter, evidence matters, and emotional arguments don't override documentation. I also started my new rotation with United. The Asia-Pacific routes were exactly what I needed. Long flights that kept me occupied, international destinations that made me unreachable for hours at a time, and a schedule that made me unavailable for Sophie's inevitable manipulation attempts. My first flight was Denver to Tokyo, a 13-hour journey that gave me plenty of time to think. My co-pilot, Jennifer Walsh, was a former Air Force captain who'd transitioned to commercial aviation after her military service. Professional, competent, and completely uninterested in personal drama. You seem unusually focused today, she observed during our meal service break. Everything okay at home? Getting divorced, I said simply. The look I was trying to place. Half my squadron went through divorces. Military life is hard on marriages. Commercial aviation probably isn't much easier. It's not the flying that killed it. It's the assumption that because I make good money, I should be grateful for whatever scraps of respect I get. Jennifer nodded knowingly. Let me guess. Wife thinks your job is just a paycheck. Doesn't understand the training, the responsibility, the constant recertification. Treats you like an ATM with wings. Something like that. My ex-husband was the same way. Thought being a pilot was glamorous and easy. Until I deployed for 6 months and he had to handle everything himself. Then suddenly he understood why I needed things organized, documented, planned out. Too bad it took a separation to make him appreciate what I contributed. Did you get back together? Hell no. Once you see how little someone respects what you do, you can't unsee it. Better to start over with someone who gets it. Rebecca filed the divorce papers on Friday, exactly 1 week after Sophie's text about the Europe trip. The timing was intentional. It would arrive via certified mail while Sophie was still overseas, still spending my money, still posting happy family photos on social media with Brady and his biological father. Sophie called me Saturday morning from Rome, crying. The first genuine emotion I'd heard from her since this whole thing started. Ryan, please, don't do this. We can work through this. Work through what exactly? You systematically removing me from your life while keeping me responsible for funding it. I made mistakes. I was scared. Brady's been asking about his dad, and Derek's been pressuring me about more time. I thought if I gave Brady some extended time with his father, he'd realize what we have is better, that our family is stronger. By lying to me about it, by moving our money around without discussion, by changing your insurance beneficiary, those were just precautions. Precautions against what? She couldn't answer that. Because the honest answer was that she'd been preparing for this conversation all along. The Europe trip wasn't about Brady wanting his dad. It was about testing whether she could function as a family unit without me. Whether I'd fight for my place or just accept being demoted to financial support with no actual role in decisions. She'd gotten her answer. Ryan, I know I handled this wrong, but you can't just throw away 8 years of marriage over a misunderstanding. 8 years of marriage where I gradually became less important than your comfort, your family's approval, and your son's complicated feelings about his father. This isn't about the vacation, Sophie. This is about me finally recognizing a pattern I should have seen years ago. What pattern? You've never defended me to your family when they made condescending comments about my background. You've never acknowledged my contributions to Brady's life when Derek showed up demanding changes. You've never consulted me about major decisions affecting our household. I've been a supporting character in my own marriage. That's not true, isn't it? When's the last time you asked my opinion about something important? When's the last time you considered how your decisions would affect me? When's the last time you chose my feelings over your family's convenience? Silence. Long, damning silence. I thought you loved me for who I am, she whispered finally. I did. I do. But love isn't enough when the person you love doesn't respect you. And you don't respect me, Sophie. You never have. You've been comfortable with me, dependent on me, grateful for the lifestyle I provide. But you've never respected me as an equal partner in this marriage. I can change. No, you can't, because you don't see anything wrong with how you've treated me. Even now, you're not apologizing for the financial deception or the insurance changes or the vacation exclusion. You're just upset that I found out and reacted instead of quietly accepting it. So that's it? 8 years, gone? 8 years of me making myself smaller so you could feel bigger. 8 years of me accepting less than I deserve because I thought that's what love looked like. I'm done making myself small for anyone. She didn't answer because we both knew it was true. I hung up and turned off my phone. I was sitting in a hotel room in Tokyo, looking out at a city where everything was different, where I could be anyone I wanted to be. For the first time in years, I felt completely free. The divorce proceedings moved forward like clockwork. Sophie contested everything, demanded alimony, claimed emotional distress, painted me as a controlling husband who'd abandoned his family. But documentation doesn't lie. Bank records don't have emotions. Insurance forms don't make mistakes. Rebecca presented our case with military precision. Sophie's secret account, the insurance beneficiary change, the pattern of financial transfers, the vacation exclusion funded with my money. The judge, a woman in her 60s who'd clearly seen this scenario before, listened without emotion to Sophie's lawyer's arguments about my vindictive abandonment and financial abuse. When Rebecca presented the timeline showing Sophie's systematic preparation for my exclusion, the judge's expression shifted. When she showed the evidence that Sophie had upgraded everyone else's accommodations with the refund from my canceled ticket, the judge actually raised an eyebrow. "Mrs. Richardson," the judge said during Sophie's testimony, "can you explain why you changed your insurance beneficiary without informing your husband?" It was an administrative update. I was adding Brady as a beneficiary and made an error. An error that completely removed your husband of 8 years while leaving your 11-year-old son as the sole beneficiary of a $200,000 policy? Yes, I plan to fix it. When? You made this change 6 months ago. Sophie couldn't answer. The divorce was finalized 4 months after I filed. Sophie kept the house, which she couldn't afford on her sporadic consulting income, and had to sell within 7 months. She kept Brady, which meant keeping Derek in her life permanently. Something that proved more complicated than she'd anticipated when he started demanding joint custody and threatening his own legal action. I kept my pension, my savings, my career, and my self-respect. The house sold for less than market value because Sophie needed a quick sale to cover the mortgage payments she couldn't make alone. Owen helped with the down payment on a smaller place closer to Derek's apartment, which meant her family was now subsidizing the lifestyle they'd expected me to fund indefinitely. Mason's threats about ruining my career proved as empty as expected. If anything, my professional reputation at United improved. The Asia-Pacific route suited me perfectly. The longer flights gave me time to think, plan, read. The international destinations reminded me that the world was bigger than the suffocating domesticity I'd escaped. 6 months after the divorce was finalized, I met Amanda Chen on a layover in Seoul. She was a flight attendant for Korean Air, working the trans-Pacific routes on exchange with United's International Partnership Program. Brilliant, independent, spoke 4 languages fluently, and had never once asked me about my salary or what I could provide for her. Our first conversation lasted 3 hours in the crew lounge at Incheon Airport. She was reading a book about behavioral economics while eating Korean street food she'd brought from home. When I asked what she thought about it, she launched into a detailed analysis of decision-making biases that was more insightful than anything I'd heard in 8 years of marriage to Sophie. "You seem surprised that I read about economics," she said, smiling. "I'm surprised you think about decision-making frameworks for fun. Everything is decision-making: where to live, who to trust, what career to build, who to spend time with. Most people make those decisions emotionally and wonder why their lives don't work out the way they planned. What's the alternative? Evidence-based decisions. Look at patterns, not promises. Judge people by their actions over time, not their words in the moment." I knew I was in trouble. Amanda and I started spending our Seoul layovers together, then our Tokyo layovers, then our San Francisco layovers. She was everything Sophie wasn't: self-sufficient, curious about my actual work instead of just my paycheck, interested in building something together instead of extracting maximum benefit from my resources. When I told her about my divorce, she listened without judgment. "She took you for granted," Amanda said simply. "Some people think providing for someone means owning them. It usually takes losing that person to understand the difference." "Do you think I was too harsh?" "You protected yourself from someone who was systematically betraying your trust while planning to keep you responsible for supporting her. That's not harsh. That's intelligent." We were walking along the waterfront in San Francisco, watching cargo ships navigate the bay. Amanda was wearing jeans and a simple sweater, no makeup, completely comfortable in her own skin, beautiful in a way that didn't require maintenance or management. "Are you happy now?" she asked. It was the same question Sophie had texted me the week before, but coming from Amanda, it felt like genuine curiosity instead of manipulation. "Yes," I said. "For the first time in years, I'm exactly where I want to be with someone who wants to be with me for the right reasons." Sophie texted me one more time after the divorce was final. "I hope you're happy now. You destroyed our family over pride." I didn't respond, but if I had, I would have told her that our family was destroyed the moment she decided I was optional. Pride had nothing to do with it. 2 years later, Amanda and I are engaged. She insisted on paying for her own ring, a simple, elegant design that reflects her practical nature. We're planning a small ceremony in Denver, where I still have friends from United. Nothing elaborate, nothing designed to impress anyone else. Sophie sent me a wedding invitation last month. She's marrying Derek, Brady's father. I suppose that completes the circle she started drawing when she excluded me from that European vacation. I deleted the invitation without responding. Sometimes the best response to, "Are you lonely?" is, "I miss absolutely nothing," and meaning every word of it. The view from cruising altitude is always clearer than what you leave behind on the ground. Same principle applies to marriages, apparently. Sometimes you have to gain some distance to see exactly how small you'd allowed yourself to become. I'm done being small for anyone. These days, I fly international routes with someone who appreciates both the destination and the journey. That's worth more than all the Newport houses and family connections in the world.